One of the top ranking fears for retirees is running out of money. But should it be? Well, joining me now is Mike Douglas, the president of Life Plan Financial Design, a Lansing area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. And Mike is also a very popular podcast host. So how are you, Mike?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. It's so great to always have you back again. So now I want to ask you, why are people so fearful of this?
Well, there's a great saying that without income, you're not retired, right? If we don't know where we're getting paid or how we're making our money, we have to go back to work. So actually studies show that more people in retirement are afraid of running out of money than they are of dying, which is interesting. But they say, well, dying is going to happen at some point. I just got to have my money make it as long as I do. So that's one of the biggest fears. And a lot of times it comes from the unknown. I don't know where or how I'm going to get my money, or what if the market doesn't do well? What if taxes go up? There's a lot of questions that go into it and a lot of fear. And fear is a very strong tool against us.
Right. And I've been hearing a lot of conversations about that as well. We don't know what taxes are going to look like in the future. So Mike, what can people do to help alleviate that?
Well, you need to build plans in advance, right? We want to have that idea going into situations. If we know before the problems happen what they could be, we can deal with them. So when we look at things now, we say, all right, not just what are we going to do for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years, but the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. What happens if inflation really gets away from us and we don't get it back under control really quickly? We've felt that a lot in mid-Michigan the last couple, well, really the last 2, 3 years. How expensive life has gotten, not because we did something wrong, but just because of life and economics and all these things that factor in. So we need to have a plan that's built out that says no matter what happens, that we're going to be okay, but we need to make sure we do that before the problems arise, not when they arise.
That's right. So you talked a lot about income, but in regards to that, how does Social Security factor in?
Well, Social Security is a wonderful blessing for those who receive it, right? I think the most recent number I saw is that 40% of Americans who are retired live exclusively on their Social Security. Right. But yet, as we look at moving forward, what will Social Security hold for people? Well, on the Social Security website, they're telling us that without major reform, they may be cutting benefits in the next 10 to 15 years. So we need to know that Social Security is a great thing, that if you get it, you receive it, it's a good opportunity for income. There are some tax consequences potentially, but it is a tool to use. But for those who may be on the younger end of the scale, let's say 50, 55 and below, we may need to build some alternative plans, because if they cut benefits by 20%, 25%, you may need a different model than what your parents or your grandparents had for retirement income. Okay, well, how can this lead to spending with confidence? Well, if you know where your paycheck's coming from, you know what you can live off of. So if we are completely speculative, we have no idea where it's coming from. Hey, if the market does well, I always think of that scene, I think it was Big Daddy, the movie Big Daddy, where they're in the grocery store and he throws a can on the ground. And they said, what's the matter? And he said, the NASDAQ dropped 2 points, so they have to damage their goods to get cheaper groceries, right? Like, it's an example, it's an extreme example, but when we pull back, if things go wrong, we have to pull back on the lifestyle we want. So what we need to do is make sure that we are planned out in a way that says whether the market's good or bad, whether taxes go up or taxes go down, we have a plan built out to make sure that we're going to be okay. That's wonderful. That's one of the things that I always love that you bring up, Mike, is that you're always talking about planning for the future, preparing for the future, doing whatever it is that we can now to help us later on. So how can tax planning help people protect more of their life savings as well? Taxes are a huge liability in retirement. Most people have all of their savings, if not all of it, a lot of it, pre-tax in a 401k or 403b, meaning they've never paid taxes on it. So when you go to take income out in retirement, what are the tax consequences? Well, if I need $3,000, do I need to take out $4,000 and withhold taxes? And then if I take out too much, do they tax my Social Security? So taxes are one of the more complicated things in retirement, but also the most powerful. If you play by the rules and you play well, you can win. When you sit down to play a game of Monopoly, there are rules, right? And now, granted, we always joke about house rules, right? Like, well, here we do this, but there are standard rules to Monopoly. And as long as you understand them, you can play to win. If you don't understand the rules, then you're shocked when you have to pay a luxury tax. You're shocked when these things happen, but it's not. It's right there in code. You just need to know how it works and win the game. And again, just like you said, the more you plan, the better that is for you in the future. So you've given us a lot to think about, but luckily we can use you as a resource. So for you at home, if you want to learn more about getting to and through retirement, Mike has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with savings of $500,
$500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. And this will allow Mike and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. A game plan to get you where you need to be. So the number to call is 517-200-3330. Again, that number is 517-200-3330. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.